partners, welcome to another game of Death by Improv doing some tabletop role playing. Tonight we're going to be playing a fun game of All Outta Bubblegum. I'm your game master for tonight, Mick, and I'm not going to do this voice the entire time because that would drive everyone crazy. But if we could bring out our players for tonight, we'll intro them, and I'll take this opportunity to take off my Don Imus cosplay. So if you guys want to come on out. Woohoo! Hey! All right,
y'all.
Howdy.
hey! So we've got Hochman, we've got Jen, we've got Farley, and guesting with us tonight we have Brown and we have Jim. And as a little surprise, because my head is so big, just so you can see, we had to cut the back of this hat off to get it to fit when I got it for Halloween last year. So that's a nice little bonus bit of information for y'all. So yeah, the game we're playing tonight is called All Outta Bubblegum. It's a very simple one-shot RPG. Based on the name, you might have figured out. It is somewhat inspired by the John Carpenter movie They Live, where Roddy Piper had the famous line, "I have come to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I am all out of bubblegum." Did I flip-flop that?
A little bit.
Oh, you get the point. So basically the way it works is the only stat that our players have to keep track of in this is bubblegum. They each start with 8 sticks of bubblegum. Anytime they take an action, they will roll a d10. Any action that doesn't fit under the very, very broad category of kicking ass is resolved by rolling a d10. If the number rolled is equal or less than the amount of bubblegum you have left, then you succeed in the task. Any action which falls under the broad umbrella of kicking ass is also resolved by rolling a d10. However, in this case, you wish to roll greater than the amount of bubblegum you have left. That's the basic mechanic. There's a couple of other things in there which we'll get into as the game goes on. But that's really, I think, about all the intro I think we really need. As you could probably gather, we're sort of doing a Western-themed style adventure tonight. So if you guys just want to introduce, just give us your character name and what your character sounds like so we can get a feel for this band of desperados and ne'er-do-wells.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Ranch Devereaux.
Tremendous. Jen, how about you?
Well, hello, y'all. I am Arabella Ruby Red, and I'm just delighted as punch to be here.
Much obliged, ma'am. Hochman, can I hear from you?
Well, this is Phineas Poteet. Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. Farley, how about you?
My name is Red Washburn. Please and thank you very much, please.
Tremendous. And then Brown, how about you?
Name's Cleveland Bulldozer. Happy to be here.
Tremendous.
Be part of this thing that's bigger than myself.
Really, in the end, that's all we ever want to be a part of is something bigger than ourselves. So just to give you guys a little bit of our story today, you guys are a band of outlaws. You are getting ready to hit a bank in a very, very small town. You've just learned that there has been a deposit of money there. There is about, let's say, $150,000, which you guys are aiming to hit. So you guys have ridden into town. Just to give you guys a little bit of a feel for the town, it's very small. There's only about 8 buildings. The town is sort of arranged west to east. On one side of the street, there is a general store, the sheriff's office, a saloon, and the bank. Across the street from that is a few houses and a doctor's office. To the east is a set of stables. To the west is a farm. To the north is the woods where your guys' hideout is. And to the northwest and northeast is train tracks, which will take you, who knows if you get on them. So you guys have ridden into town. You've sort of taken a circuitous route into town to detract anyone who might have happened to have been following you. So you're entering the town from the east. When you enter the town, the first 2 buildings you see are the bank on the right and a house on the left. So you guys have each ridden in on your horses. You are coming into town, bank on the right, houses on the left. What do you do? And also, just so you know, I'm only gonna sort of make make you guys make rolls on actions that have like actual consequences. If you guys were doing something simple like I walk towards this building, I'm not going to make you roll for that. But if you guys are going to say I'm
no, I tripped on my left foot.
exactly. But if you say something like, well, I'm going to try to climb up the back, climb up the side of the house and go in through the window, yeah, that might take a roll. So yeah, you guys have arrived in front of the bank. What do you do?
Well, I assume we've robbed some banks before and therefore are pros at this. So I think we just go in guns a-blazing.
Well, that's...
Ooh, y'all. I can't
Work
wait
for us
to get
back
me
in
some of
Soy-
this money.
Work for us back in Soy City. I don't see why I won't work here.
I mean, it did fail us in Duck Sauce City, but...
All right, well, Duck Sauce City might be something we want to examine in a possible prequel down the line. But it sounds like you guys are pretty well... You guys are just going to go in there with the guns blazing. Is that pretty much what you've agreed to?
I'll say that Cleveland Bulldozer cocks his shotgun. I feel like he'd be a shotgun user.
If your name's Cleveland Bulldozer, what other weapon would you use, really?
I think hop off the horses and barge in, shoot at the ceiling.
Okay. All right, so you guys enter the bank. When you enter the bank, what you come in to see is it's a very small operation. There is a teller working at a counter. Behind him is two doors. One goes into the vault, one goes into the bank manager's office. There's two customers in the bank right now, a man and a woman. And Phineas, you said that you were going to start by shooting your gun in the air?
Yeah, I think just everyone on the ground.
All right. So let's see. I think that will necessitate our first roll for the evening. So this does not count as an ass-kicking roll, I wouldn't think. It's more of an intimidation sort of thing. So you want to roll equal or less than your amount of bubblegum. So let's give it a roll, and let's see how the bank people react to the shot in the air. So that is less. So yeah, you have succeeded in that task. So the bank customers have gotten on the ground, and the bank teller, whose name, for the sake of giving a little bit of flavor, his name is Seamus Kennerly, says to you, "Oh, please, what is it you be doing? Oh, I don't want to die. Please, please don't kill me. I have a wife and a wee babby at home. Please, please. What do you want me to do?"
Y'all will be right fine if you would just open up the vault there and give us all the money. We'll be on our way. Thank you ever so much.
It's not as simple as that. I don't know the combination for the vault. Only the manager knows the combination for the vault. You have to get him. So basically you've robbed a bank and pretty much been told you have to speak to the manager. So what do you do? How do you try to get the manager to help you out with this?
Well, sir, where then is that there manager? Is he here, or is he, around some other parts?
Well, as you might see behind me, there are two different doors. One goes to the vault, one goes to the manager's office. So the one that doesn't go to the manager's office, it would stand to reason that that's the one that goes to the vault. But that's not the one you want now. You want the one for the manager's office.
I'll say that Cleveland gets around and goes, "All right," and just kicks in the manager's door with his foot.
So you kick in the manager's door, and the manager says, you come up with a voice room real quick. Can I help you with something?
Money.
Well, have you an account? You can open up an account with the teller out front if you are looking to open an account. You will accrue interest over time, of course. I can't just give you money, but over time...
I don't have any interest in counting. I want the money.
Cleveland takes his shotgun barrels and puts them right up to his nose and says "I think our account's 00."
Well, if you don't have an account, that would be what your account would be. You'd need an account here to have anything in it. Are you perchance attempting to rob this establishment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll have you know that I have friends in very high places in this town, and if you do rob it, I will say that there will be very, very severe consequences for you if you do attempt to make this robbery. So, if you'd like to proceed with it, I'll be my guest, but however, know that things might not go so well for you.
I'm proceeding. I'm going to take this big here sack with a big dollar bill on it, and I'm going to shove it in your face, and you're going to fill it with money, all right? You're going to fill this whole thing, and then if you call your friends, we'll rob them too.
Okay, so this would, again, be a non-ass-kicking roll. So, Farley, if you could roll your d10, and if you roll under your equal or less than your 8 sticks that you currently have, you will succeed in making him attempt to help you rob the joint.
I got an 8.
An 8, okay, so that... Oh, well, okay. Well, I suppose that this money is not worth my life, so allow me to take you to the vault, and I will open it for you, so that way you can begin to rob the joint. So what, Reb, I think what you're doing then, would it be fair to reason that you are taking your gun and sort of pointing it, like, at the bank manager and...
Like, kind of like, here's my sack.
All right.
Here's my gun. And
okay.
I'm gesturing.
Okay. Well, what I'm getting at here is you had to move me towards the vault. I don't actually have the money in here.
Yeah, no, go. March, get up,
Okay.
get out of your desk, and out this door and around to the other door on the other side, which I saw before.
All right. So, you guys march the bank manager to the vault, and he says to you, "Now, I'd like to ask you to turn away. It is a secret combination on this vault. I wouldn't want you guys to learn it and then just come back and feel like you can rob the place willy-nilly. That would not be very sporting of you, I wouldn't think."
Why not?
Well, because it's very expensive and very difficult to change it. So what I'm saying is you'd be doing me a solid if you just turned away while I open the vault for you.
I like a challenge.
Okay.
I'll agree with it because we're gonna rob it again. I don't wanna make it quick. All right, let's do it. Okay.
Yeah, where's
I'll
the
close
fun
my
in that?
eyes. We're sporting. I get it.
Okay. So the bank manager begins to turn the lock, whatever you call it, whatever the thing you call the spinny thing on the front of a bank vault. He starts to turn that. Lock, yeah. That's a very technical term.
Combination lock, if we're gonna be.
Okay.
Dial, maybe.
Dial, there we go. There's all kinds of words for locks.
Mechanism.
So he begins
Doodad.
to
The clicky open thing.
he begins to try to open the vault. However, you notice it's taking him quite a long time to input the combination.
Hey, what's taking you so long?
It's
Heck, man, are you really the manager?
I fired my gun, like, trying to ricochet a bullet off the vault door right near his face.
Okay. So roll your d10 and let's see what that does, if that succeeds or it fails.
Is that an ass-kicking roll?
A 7.
Okay, I would say that's not ass-kicking because he's not intending to harm the teller. All right, so the teller then begins working a little bit faster. He spins and spins and spins and spins for another 10 or 15 seconds. You get the impression he could have done this a lot quicker. But he opens up the vault. So the vault is open, and it's available for you guys to walk on in there and take what you want. So do you guys do that?
Now, we're going to go in and take some funds, and y'all are going to be neighborly about this and not shut the door behind us.
Oh, I'm definitely staying out there, like, guns pointed at the people that I told to get on the floor. Like,
Okay. Well, that is
I'm going for that there cash.
I mean, I've never robbed a
got
bank
the
before,
sash.
but it seems like you fellas have this all figured out.
Oh,
So it's Phineas, you're staying outside of the vault while everyone else is going in to rob it?
yeah, I'm like in the middle of the bank, like, just keeping an eye on people, making sure nobody tries any funny business.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going in, scooping up stacks of bills if I
I'm gonna
can,
fill
and
this
shoving them in my shirt.
So two...
Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say when the sacks get too, like, I kind of like, take the sacks when they get big and start bringing them out. As like,
All right. So it sounds
Ruby
good.
walks around and makes sure that, she's a lady and Mrs. Gentleman's work carrying heavy stacks of money, but making sure that nobody is acting rudely.
Okay. So, as this is going on, I'm going to say two simultaneous things happen. I'm going to say that Reb, in the vault, you notice something that you didn't plan on. You see that there is another smaller safe, which is in there. You guys knew about this delivery of the 150 grand, but you didn't know there was anything else that was necessarily going to be inside of the vault. So this piques your curiosity. Meanwhile, on the outside, one of the customers who's in the bank, he's a normal-looking guy in his early 30s. He decides he wants to try to be a hero. So he gets up and he lunges at Phineas. So I think this means that Phineas is going to have to make our first ass-kicking roll of the evening.
I think as I see him coming at me, I try to just like kick him because I assume he's like lunging low. Mm-hmm. But I roll a 3.
Okay, so you want to roll greater than the bubblegum you have left. So
I do.
Yes, so this means you've actually lost a stick of bubblegum. Just mechanically, so you guys know, the viewers at home, when you lose all of your bubblegum, I mean, you don't like die or anything like that, but you are rendered incapable of doing anything but kicking ass. So it's conceivable that you could be put in a situation where if you're only able to kick ass, you might not necessarily be able to do what you want to do. If you're trying to persuade someone to open a bank vault, for example, but all you can do is kick their ass, might not go so well for you. All right, so you have rolled under your 7, so now you're 8, so now you have 7 sticks of bubblegum left. So I'm going to say that you're grappling with this fellow outside. Meanwhile, let's cut back to inside of the vault. So you guys have seen this other smaller safe, which you guys were not aware of. How do you guys respond to that? What do you do?
I say to the manager, "Hey there, what's with that box there? Why don't you open that one for us too?
Anything but that. I cannot possibly open that one for you. No. That is out of the question.
You could.
Well, I mean, okay. So it sounds like you're trying to intimidate the bank manager into opening this up. So then, Wrench, I'm going to make you roll your D10, and let's see how you do.
That's a 4.
That is a 4. All right. So that's equal or less. So there you go. You have scared the bank manager into starting to open the safe. Meanwhile, let's go back outside where Phineas is grappling with this fella.
That'll help, Rube.
Yeah. So Ruby's going to come over and try and jump on his back.
Okay. So let's make an ass-kicking roll.
All right. That is an 8.
That is an 8. All right. So you want to roll greater, so you are now down to 7 sticks of bubblegum. So this guy now is, he's in some sort of, I'm going to say he's in some sort of 3-way grapple with the two of you. And this is a big feller. He's not going down easy. Back into the vault. The manager is opened up. He's trying to open up the vault, but again, it seems like he's doing it a little bit slower than it seems like he could be. So how do you guys react to that?
Okay, so what I do is I take my gun and I put it right up against the manager's temple. I said, if you don't get that Littler safe open up quicker and I can't go out there and help my friends, there's going to be a lot of stains in this vault.
I mean, I understand that, but if you were to shoot me, there's no possible way that you could get it open. So I'm afraid you're gonna have to do something more to get me to open this depository.
Very, very clever, Blink Man. Alrighty. So if you don't open up this safe, then I believe that your pretty little teller out there is gonna meet a very, very bad fate.
And you can hear from outside Seamus again, "No, please, open it up for him, sir. I cannot bear to be, if my head is blown off, I cannot possibly see me wee babby grow up."
As I'm grappling with the one guy, I just try to backhand Seamus.
Okay. Seamus is, I'm just going to give you that, because Seamus, he's not much of a fighter. So
Ruby is actually
about Irish after all.
Oh boy! All right.
Ruby's gonna hop off the back of the manager because she's not allowed, or the hero because she's not allowed to help here, and run back to the vault and say, let me put my skills to work. I can get this open. You go help Phineas.
Okay.
Cleveland just is like, mm-hmm, and starts walking out like to help Phineas.
So who goes out to help Phineas? Cleveland and anyone else?
No, what I would want to do is actually go out and get Seamus, is what I would really do, and then go back into the vault to make the manager do it.
Okay. So, all right. So Cleveland, you go outside, and Reb, I'm saying you're going to go outside with the intention of bringing Seamus in. However, once you get out there, you do see Phineas is still grappling with this would-be hero. So do you guys try to help your friend before you drag Seamus into the vault?
Okay, yeah, I'll try to help Phineas out.
Okay. So, in Cleveland, same thing?
I'm there basically to help Phineas.
Yeah.
This guy might die trying to be a hero right now.
Okay.
Cleveland's the
I assume Cleveland is like a fucking brick house. He's like just the name Cleveland Bulldozer. I assume he's like 6'6" and just like as thick as like a fucking ox or whatever.
Oh, he's a shit brick house, but he has a heart of gold.
Oh. All right. So what I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to have you each roll for ass kicking. However, this is not a mechanic that's in the game, and I'm sort of adapting this from D&D. But since now he's outnumbered, I'm actually, Phineas, going to have you roll too.
Right.
But I'm going to give you all each an advantage on the roll. So roll it twice and then take whichever is better. Because I'm saying 3-on-1, you should be able to, at least one of you, take this guy. And if one, even if just one of you succeeds.
I rolled a 10 and a 1.
I rolled a 1, a 4 and a 1. I'm assuming lower is better. So
lower is better in an ass kicking scenario. Okay. Okay. So.
Oh, in ass kicking, you want higher.
In ass kicking, right? You want greater than. All right. So what did you
Someone
guys?
succeeded either way.
I rolled a 4 and a 1. That heart of gold really got bulldozer in the end.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Since there was at least one success, I'm not going to make anyone lose any bubblegum because it is 3-on-1. Who got?
I mean, isn't the whole point to lose some bubblegum?
True. Fine. Whoever didn't get a success, lose your bubble. Lose a stick.
And this is for a kick-ass or an ass-kick one?
This is on an ass kick. Yeah.
Ass kicking. All right.
So who actually got successes on that? Cleveland. I know.
I had a 10 and a 1. So
Okay.
No,
my 10
if we were doing ass kicking, I 4 and 1. Yeah, I
Okay.
failed.
All right. So Phineas, with yours, do you want to put him down or do you want to put him down?
I think, like, especially with my friends helping, like, I eventually just, like, literally throw him out a door into the street, like, probably slamming him into, like, the post that the horse is tied to.
Okay. All right. So he is out, and I'm going to say that he conked his head pretty good on the post, and he is now unconscious out in front of the bank.
And I just turned to everyone else in the bank, like you said, there was like 2 customers, so there's one more. Turned to the other customer and Seamus, and I'm just like, no more funny business.
If you've thrown this guy out, there's one customer left, the female customer, and she's down there going, "Oh no, mister, I will not try anything at all. Believe me, I am far too dainty to engage in fisticuffsmanship with the likes of you." So, Phineas, I assume you're going to continue to keep a watch out in the bank, and the rest of you guys are going to... Cleveland, you're going to stay with Phineas?
Oh, I was actually, if I may, Cleveland's... we can deal with this after everybody else's. Cleveland's like, I got to my mom thinking to something. I'll be back in a minute. And I actually walk outside the bank. And we'll... let's take care of everybody else's first, but I have an idea, possibly.
All right, So Phineas, with him going outside, are you going to stay in the front portion of the bank, or are you going to go into the vault with everyone else?
I mean, someone's got to keep an eye on this woman, even if they're dragging Seamus into the vault. So,
all right. So the rest of you have now dragged Seamus into the vault. The bank manager sees you brought Seamus in. Who actually grabbed Seamus? Was it Reb?
Yeah, I guess I would. It was,
okay.
Yeah,
and I assume you're like holding a gun to his head.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like,
So the bank manager sees this, and he sees you've got Seamus in there with your gun pointed to his head. And what do you say now to try to get him to work a little bit faster?
All right. So I said, "See, I got your bank teller," and then we threw that other guy out the door. Okay, you can't mess with us. All right. We need that vault open now. All right.
So so this is sort of like you're again trying to intimidate him to get the thing opened up. So I'm going to make you roll again, and this is not kicking ass, so you want to roll under your total of sticks left.
Okay, and that was a 6.
Okay, so you succeed. Okay, fine, I'll open it for you, and don't ask me why my voice has changed 4 times. So he opens up the vault, and you see in there about 10 bricks of solid gold. So I assume you guys are going to want to bring these out with you, too.
Go get the bigger sacks, and let's get this gold down.
All right, so Cleveland, back to you outside. As you are outside, you see 2 things happening simultaneously. You see coming down the road to your right, you see the sheriff and 2 deputies ambling down towards the bank because they noticed a fella flying out the window, and they think maybe that's something we should investigate. Meanwhile,
Who's Jazzy Jeffing it?
Meanwhile, off to the west, you see a trail of dust in the distance, and you see a fairly large gang coming by on horseback, and they are hauling ass. So you know that they're coming, and they've means some sort of business. So what do you do?
Well, I was going outside to grab a stick of dynamite from our saddlebags to blow that safe open. So I'm going to say that I retrieve 1 stick of dynamite.
Okay.
But with this new knowledge, Cleveland looks around, and not being the brightest pear on the tree,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that do I know if they've opened it or anything? You know what? No.
You're out front. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Being a man of action, I'm going to take that stick of dynamite and I try to throw it towards the gang. And when it gets close enough to them, shoot it with my shotgun and see if it blows up.
Okay, I love this. This is I think by very definition an ass-kicking role. However, again, I'm not playing strictly by the rules on this. I'm going to give you. I'm also going to give you advantage on this because I love the idea so much. So
Okay.
this is an ass-kicking roll, so you want to roll greater than your sticks of gum that you have left. So you want to roll a 7 or above, or
rolled
greater than 7.
a 9 and a 5.
A 9 and a 5. So you have a success there. So with this, you hurl the stick of dynamite, and these guys are about probably 90 yards away when you hurl it. And then you quickly go into bullet time, and you pull out. What kind of gun do you have? You've got your shotgun, right?
Yeah, I feel like. I mean, I don't know how historical we're being. I'm assuming I have a double barrel shotgun.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like a lever or a pump action like mechanism. But
Okay.
I don't know if that matters.
I don't necessarily think they'd have pump action in this point in time, but whatever. I'm not a gunsmith. If you want a pump action, you got a pump action.
The lever is good. The lever
okay.
would be what they would have, I think.
Regardless, it's a shotgun. All right, so you hurl this stick of dynamite. You hurl it about 90 yards because you're a brick shithouse, and you've got a cannon for an arm. You could play quarterback for any team in the NFL today with that cannon you got. So
Probably the Cleveland Browns.
Probably.
I was thinking more like have an Onus Wagner sort of character, but okay.
Oh, are you side arming it or anything, or are you just hurling overhand? How do you do this?
I'm doing a sidearm knuckleball on this.
You can. The Broncos are looking for a quarterback.
All right, so you throw your ephus pitch of a stick of dynamite towards these guys. You pull out your shotgun. You go into bullet time. You shoot it. It explodes, and you see like 8 guys go flying off their horses, and you see there's arms and legs flying. There's horse parts flying. Whoever these guys are, if you didn't take them all out, you did a pretty good job of taking out the majority of them. Now keep in mind, you've still got the lawmen coming in from the opposite direction.
I think Ruby's going to go out to check on Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely heard that explosion.
Definitely would have heard the
outside bank.
explosion. And you've got the and by this point I would say you guys have got the cash and the gold pretty well stowed in your bags that you brought in with you. That's
I'm
fair to
loading my
say.
pockets
We've
with
been-
gold
that whole-
bars as best I
time,
can.
yeah, like
Okay.
Waddling
Yeah.
out under the weight.
Okay. So you guys bust out of the bank into the street. You see Cleveland there. You see the smoke rising off in the distance from where he just blew up a whole bunch of guys on horses. And you see the lawmen coming at you from the opposite direction. What do you guys do from here?
Ruby yells out to the sheriff, don't worry, Sheriff, we've rushed out to take care of these brigands.
They went that away.
we just tried to blow him up.
The sheriff, he's no fool. He doesn't take too kindly to this because he knows, he knows this town pretty well. He knows if it's someone who's, if someone is really there to help, he's gonna know probably who they are. So he's
Ruby gives him her prettiest smile and shows a bit of leg.
Okay,
you did say our hideout was outside of town, so probably we're a known entity too.
That's a fair point. You guys have been in and out of there a bunch of times. All right, so Ruby, you are attempting to charm this sheriff.
Indeed.
Okay, how do you? So you flash a little bit of leg, and is there anything you say to him while you're doing it?
Well, Sheriff, now you know I'm a good woman, and those bad men over there really should have all of your attention. And once you're done with them, why don't you come back and visit me, and I'll help you relax from a long day at work.
Okay, so give us a roll, and this is non-ass kicking, so you want to roll equal or less than your 7 sticks.
Actually, I'm going to use a mechanic in the game we haven't used yet. I'm going to sacrifice a stick to make sure this works.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. So oh man, oh little lady, oh I'm a happily married man. Oh, but oh man, oh if I weren't so happily married, oh man. Oh man! So he is pretty well. He's pretty well enraptured with you, and he's on the verge of letting you go. However, in the distance, there are the guys who did not serve. The guys who were not completely blown up by the explosion. They are running at you with guns blazing. As they get a little bit closer, you recognize them as. They are a rival gang of yours that you've had many, many interactions with. I had written down... okay, so this is the Skinner gang. So the surviving people that you see are Jack Skinner, the patriarch of the family, who you guys go way back with, and you've been in numerous confrontations with. And then...
Ruby, it's your ex-fiance, Jack Skinner.
There you go.
Damn him!
So
what's he doing here?
He's coming with 4 of his sons. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had like 8 sons, and you blew up like 5 of them. So he's coming with 4 of his sons. Leray, Lemoyne, and Lamar are all shooting him. He's like, "Oh, Pappy! Someone tripped the silent alarm in the vault. No one was trying to get to our gold. And you trained us good, Pappy. If someone's gonna be taking our gold, we ride into town and we shoot them up and we take our gold back." And then Lemoyne, the other one, goes, "I can't believe they killed like 5 of my brothers." So, he's shooting at you, but his heart's not really at it because he's feeling the loss of his brothers more than his other brothers and his pappy are.
Ain't none of you worth a damn anyhow.
All right. Well, they are shooting at you now, and what are you guys going to do about that?
How far away are they from us?
They're getting pretty close. I'm going to say at this point they're about 20 yards away.
I'm going to shoot Jack right in the heart to make up for the metaphorical bullet he put in my heart.
Okay. So that would, I think, qualify definitely as an ass-kicking roll. So let's get a roll and see how you do.
6.
All right, so that fails, and what happens is you fire a shot, or you attempt to fire a shot off. However, your gun jams and it actually explodes in your hand. So you are, you're sort of knocked a little bit back by this. Meanwhile, the sheriff, he sort of realizes if you guys are shooting at these other outlaws that are coming by, and they're talking about how someone tripped the silent alarm and just have to take gold from the bank. He's come to the realization that as charming as you are, he should probably do his deputy-like duties. So now you guys are dangerously close to getting penned in because you've got like 5 of the Skinner gang coming at you in one direction. You've got the sheriff and his 2 deputies in the other direction. And then you actually see a few more horses off in the distance, which are riding into town, sort of backing up the sheriff and his men.
So I want to hop on my horse, and that thing you sometimes see in like westerns where like someone like basically starts darting back and forth on their horse before the horse goes to run off in one direction.
Yes.
So I want to do that to try to like kick up a cloud of dust and obscure everyone's vision so we can try to get away.
Okay. All right. So give me a roll that is as much ass as that kicks. That does not technically count as an ass kicking roll. So give us a roll.
A 6.
A 6. So that succeeds. So you have now kicked up a cloud of dust. Now you have to keep in mind though, with where you are, you've got the Skinners closing in on you on one side, and that's the side your horses are on. So you're the only one who's currently on your horse. You've got the law covering you on the other side. Now what you can do is you can sort of scoot behind the buildings that are sort of off to the side there. If you're looking, the way I see it, like I said, the town sort of runs east-west. Your hideout is in the woods to the north. So you can you don't have to necessarily go out through the main thoroughfare in the town to leave it. However, if you do go north, there is a river that separates the woods from you. So if you want to go and sort of cut through the buildings and try to head towards your hideout, you can do that, but you have to keep in mind that you're going to have to deal with this river. It's pretty wide, pretty raging, so you're going to have to find another way around it once you get to it. So
what building is just north of us? What's across the street from us?
Okay, so you're still outside the bank. There are, across the street from you in a row, are 3 private houses and a doctor's office. That's on the southbound side of the street. To the north, next to the bank, is the town saloon. Next to that is the sheriff's office, and then the other side of the sheriff's office is the general store. Now, if you guys want to maybe, you can try to escape through the east or west. You can try to go north and deal with that river. You could take advantage of the dust cloud and maybe try to hide in one of the other buildings. So you've got a few different options you can take.
Can we assume that there are other horses around that aren't just our horses, like town horses, just like tied up?
There is on the eastern end of town.
Probably has a horse.
On the eastern end of town, there is a stable. I would say that any horses that were not run off by the explosion are pretty spooked right now. So unless they're a good distance away from the explosion, it's going to be hard to kind of tame them. You guys' horses, Hochman's horse has been through a lot of chaos, so he's used to this by now, but regardless. But on one side of town, there is a stable with horses there, and then that's on the eastern side of town. On the western side, there is a farm, and you saw that they had a bunch of horses out in their pastures there as well.
Okay.
I was going to suggest if anybody wants to come with me, everybody else make a run for the river. And I'll make a diversion and try to break off the south way in town and circle back around.
Okay.
Try to take out some of these Skinner boys before we get out of here.
Down to the river.
Yeah. I'm already on my horse, and I hear Cleveland say that, and I'm just like, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
That's what I was thinking. I want
Racing.
some horses.
All right. So let's go first with Cleveland. So you are trying to cut south. Are you trying to draw off some of the fire?
Oh, I was going to say that before I cut south, I charge right into the Skinners and try to shoot a few shots and then kind of swerve off to the south. Maybe try to divert at least them from us.
Okay. So give me an ass-kicking roll then.
6.
All right. So you get a shot off. You don't hit anybody. You do get two of the Skinner boys' attention, though. They're like, hey, that feller's taking a shot at us. let's try to get him for the sake of our dead brothers. So then, as you peel south, you have these two Skinner boys in pursuit of you. So
I shout out, I'm the one who killed your brothers.
We saw that. The other one's like, yeah, it was actually pretty nifty. I didn't like some of them, so I got quite a kick out of it. But I'll tell you, just the code of the Skinner gang means that we need to get some revenge on y'all. So you cut south. You draw the two Skinner boys off with you. So that means that there is the Chief Skinner and the two other Skinner boys.
You might even say the Principal Skinner.
The Principal Skinner, yeah. Plus two Skinner boys, the sheriff and his two deputies on the other side, and you still do see that there is a bunch of other guys on horses coming from the opposite direction. So he's drawn some of the Skinners off for you, Cleveland has, but you guys are still in kind of a pickle here.
So I think since we have dynamite, what I'm going to do is before I get on my horse, I'm going to take a stick of dynamite and kind of bury it in the sand, but I won't light it yet, but it'll just be sticking out just enough. So before I get on my horse, I can light it if they're chasing us.
Okay. So you're burying it and lighting it, or you're just?
I'm gonna bury it. I'm burying it first, and
okay.
Then, well, yeah. No, I'm gonna light it.
I'm gonna say that you. All right. Reb, I'm going to retcon your character a little bit, and I'm going to say that you are kind of a ballistics expert. So you have rigged a stick of dynamite, sort of like a landmine, so if it gets stepped on, it will blow.
That's good.
So I'm going to say that you know how to do that in theory, but whether or not it actually works is going to depend on how you do on this ass-kicking roll.
Understood.
You've made a weird, like, spring-loaded plate that ignites a flint that lights the dynamite.
It'll work, I promise.
Ruby is gonna draw on her background after this.
It was a 3. So
it was a 3. Okay, so that fails, sadly.
Oh, yeah.
So you bury it, and after you bury it, are you then trying to run off in a particular direction?
I'm trying to run to wherever my horse is.
Okay, so I'm going to say that your horse, you guys' horses, Hochman already grabbed his, but you guys just sort of tied your horses up to hitching posts right in front of the bank. So they're fairly close by, and like I said, your horses are experienced thieves in their own right. I don't know how that works, but they haven't necessarily been as alarmed by all this commotion. So you guys
desensitized them to the violence.
Yes. So the rest of you guys are going to get on your horses, or I know Ruby, you said you had something that you wanted to try.
I was going to say, Ruby is going to draw on her pre-crime talents as a traveling trick rider and roper cowgirl with a traveling circus, and try to rope Jack.
Okay, I like this. All right, so let's roll for that. I'm going to not count this as an ass-kicking roll because I think you're not trying to harm him directly, but he will he will get hurt as a result of your actions, but sort of an indirect. So let's see how you roll on this one. 1, all right.
Under.
So he is lassoed, and he is being dragged by your horse. And then the rest of you guys, which direction are you running on? Are they going on the horses now?
So you said the river was north of the town.
The river was to the north of the town, so it's between.
And you also said the saloon was to the north from us.
The saloon is actually the next. It's actually the next building over from the bank. It's right next door to the bank.
So it's not in the path I want to go if I'm making for the river.
If you're making for the river, you would go. You can sort of go between the bank and the saloon to head towards the river.
So what I want to do is I want to charge my horse in through the front door of a building. And I was thinking the saloon.
The saloon is where you're at, but actually...
if another building makes more sense, that's fine. But basically, I just want to create as much commotion as possible by charging a horse in the front door and then just try to ride through to where I hope there is a back door.
All right. I love this plan. So you charge your horse into the saloon, and the saloon is actually packed. You bust in there. I'm not even going to make you roll for that because it's so cool and I desperately want to see where we go from here. All right, so you get into the saloon and you see there's actually quite a crowd in there. You see there's the saloon keeper. When you walk in, the bar is to your left. There's tables sort of scattered throughout the interior. There's a staircase.
My horse is just smashing them.
It's kicking tables over left and right, yeah. There's a staircase in the middle of the saloon that goes upstairs to where they have, it also doubles as a town lodging house. So there's rooms upstairs where people are presumably staying. To the right of the stairs, there is the piano player. He was playing a song with a female singer standing right next to him, but they have obviously stopped dead in their tracks of their song once they see this horse bust in. You do see then that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other people in the bar. One of them, it's a sort of a mix of men and women, but there's 2 that stick out at you in particular. One is a guy who's probably about 6 foot 8 inches tall. He's big and strapping, and he's shirtless, and he's the town tough. He goes by the name of Big Shirtless Ron. And with him is his best friend, Zeb, who's the town drunk. And they're sort of like I'm trying to think of a bully and a toady thing, and the best I can come up with is like Gaston and LeFew, from Beauty and the Beast, but like more like corn-fed than that.
There's a romantic subtext between these 2 characters.
Oh, it's
Scott Farkas and Grover Dill.
There you go.
So
that's a little closer.
There's a romantic subtext between those 2. No, just kidding.
Yeah. And plus, Scott Farkas and Grover Dill had a little bit of Midwestern nice to him that these guys don't have. So Big Shirtless Ron and Zeb get up, and Shirtless Ron says, I don't appreciate what you're doing to my bar. So he throws a punch. He throws a haymaker right at your horse.
Do I get to roll for my horse then?
I'm going to say, yeah, let's try to roll. Do an ass-kicking roll for your horse to try to defend yourself.
All right.
Ranch has something he wants to do.
I have rolled a 1, so I don't think my horse kicked much ass.
Okay, your horse kicks. However, it doesn't succeed in kicking the actual threat. It kicks the piano player, and it kicks him right into the piano, and the piano just explodes into a million pieces, and it's like comedic. But you can actually tell then, you can see from the workings of the piano busting out, this guy wasn't actually playing a real piano. It was just a player piano, and he was scamming the town all this time. So some of the people in the town were like, I knew he was not as good as he claimed to be. But you still have to deal with
that charlatan.
You still have to deal with Big Shirtless Ron and Zeb, and there's a bunch of other people in this bar. Now, Ranch, you said you had.
Yeah, so Ranch tries to do his best to throw his voice, pretend that he's the bartender, and he's just drinks on the house.
Okay, so all right, give me a roll on that.
All right.
So have you followed in with your horse behind me?
I think I'm on foot.
Okay.
I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5. Okay, this is not kicking ass, and you want to roll under your 8 sticks, so that's a success. So with that, Big Shirtless Ron and Zeb, in true Muppet movie fashion, get up and scamper up the stairs and attempt to get on the roof of the saloon, thinking that the drinks are, in fact, on the house. So you guys have dealt with the most immediate threat in the room. There are still a few other people in the bar. The saloon keeper doesn't look too happy, but he also is sort of wary, like he doesn't want to mess with you. So it doesn't look like there's an imminent threat right now in the saloon. So Ranch and Phineas are inside the saloon. Cleveland has run to the south, drawn up a couple of Skinners. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Well, I guess since my explosive failed, I was trying to get on my horse, so I get on my horse, and then I guess just like...
Which you can actually hear in the distance. Your explosive that you buried does blow up. It doesn't hurt any of the people that you were intending it to, but there was a revivalist preacher who was just rolling into town to attempt to try to save the souls of the people, and then like... he is, riding and going, hellfire and brimstone. And as soon as he says hellfire and brimstone, just the ground beneath him just explodes. And then the only thing you can see is like his flaming preacher's hat land at your feet. So your improvised landmine is now a non-factor, but you know it worked. It just didn't work on the person you wanted it to work on. So you still got 3 Skinners, 3 lawmen, and there's still people coming from behind the lawmen on horseback. So what are you guys going to do from there?
So then now, okay, so now I'm yelling to the lawmen and the gang that there's free drinks in the saloon. I just heard them yell free drinks in the saloon.
All right, let's see what kind of drunks these lawmen are. So give me a roll on that.
What was it, 9?
So you want to roll less because it's not ass kicking. So that fails. You lose a stick of gum, and the lawman says, "I'll tell you right now, my good friend Bill W. would not approve of me going in the saloon and partaking of such things. I've got my 8-year chip right here, and I am doing nothing to derive myself of the pleasures of sobriety." So then he cocks his gun at you. And says, "Even though you're still standing in a big old cloud of smoke that feller kicked up on his horse, I register that I'm a good enough shot that I could probably hit you from here."
Ruby sees him pointing the gun at Reb, and with her amazing skill, she's still holding the lasso in one hand, and she pulls her pearl-handled revolver with a ruby embedded in the hilt.
Nice.
From the other holster, and shoots the gun out of his hand.
Okay, give me an ass-kicking roll on that one, please.
2.
2, okay. All right, so that one unfortunately fails. You do get the shot off, and it does blow his hat off, but he's like, "I've been sheriff in this town for 24 years. My hat's been shot off a number of times. And again, sorry I'm on my 4th voice. It's kind of hard to keep track of this many NPCs. So you guys are still outside with the law bearing down on you. Okay, and here we go. All right, so I'm going to pick back up. I'm going to start with Cleveland. You have sort of bolted to the south with a couple of the Skinner boys behind you. What are you going to try to do from here? Now, keep in mind, just so you've got to lay the lay of the land a bit in front of you. You're on foot, if I remember correctly, because you didn't make a point to jump on your horse.
No, I said I was on my horse.
You are on your horse, okay.
Yeah.
So these Skinner boys are right up on top of you, or you're picking up some distance between you because you're on horseback and they're not. You're sort of riding to the south, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say these Skinner boys are going to try to make an attack on you. They're going to try to fire on your horse. To try to see if they can knock the horse out from under you. I'm going to say, because of the fact that they were thrown off of their horses in the explosion earlier, they're not going to be at like full health, so they're not going to have, all 8 sticks of bubblegum per se. So I'm going to say that they are down to like 5 sticks based on the fracas that they've already been in. So we'll see what happens here. Give me one.
You want to just go roll for roll if we're both ass kicking to see who tops it, or just have to be to 5?
Actually, you know what? Let's just do that. Let's just do roll for roll and see if you can. Try to see if you can beat my 5. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay. And if I don't, we'll say that I lose a stick.
If you don't, you lose a stick. Correct.
A 9.
Okay, so you succeed. So you have left the Skinner boys pretty far behind in the dust. Now, ahead of you as you go to the south, I'm assuming you're going to try to want to loop back around so you can meet back up with your compatriots?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know the basic direction of where the hideout is. It's to the north. You know that there's the railroad to the northeast and the northwest, and there's a river between the town and the hideout. So last you saw your compatriots, they were still sort of in the thick of things in town. You might have seen Ranch, and Phineas out of the corner of your eye as you're going. You might have seen them try to bolt into the bar. So now that you've left the Skinners behind, which direction do you try to go?
This sounds weird. If I was to try to circle around to our camp, because would I also know where the Skinner Boys' hideout is, and would I pass that along the way to
The
our
Skinner
hideout?
the Skinner Boys hideout is not anywhere in close proximity to the directions that
Okay.
we're heading currently.
So I guess I'll try to wrap around more towards the train tracks, which is the northeast.
Okay.
To come around that way.
So I'm gonna say that you are sort of looping around, trying to go to the northeast to try to hook back up with your buddies. So let's cut back now to we still have outside the saloon. I believe we have Ruby, who's on her horse, with Jack Skinner lassoed behind her. Reb, you're still outside the saloon, right? Okay. So you guys saw Phineas bust into the saloon on horseback. You saw Ranch follow him. What do you guys do now?
Ruby is going to ride into the saloon as well, dragging Jack behind her on the horse.
Okay. So you ride into the saloon. And Reb, what about you?
I'm going to try to take my horse and climb up the trough and to the balcony of the second floor of the saloon with my horse.
Love it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say that Jen just does it because we've already established it's fairly easy to get a horse into a saloon.
When she gets inside, Ruby's going to call out, "Barkeep, get me a port, you know what kind. Put it on Jack's tab."
Okay. So let's see if he actually makes you that drink. Give me a roll.
1.
All right. So he's like, "All right, ma'am, I don't want no trouble," and he pours you a drink and throws it to you. And because you are such a badass horsewoman, you catch it and in one motion down it and then throw the glass back to him. There you go. So meanwhile, Reb, you're outside and you're trying to see if you can get your horse to parkour over using the horse trough to the balcony atop the saloon. Give me a roll on that.
This horse's name starts with a V. Hopefully.
It's a little inside baseball. That is a 5. All right, so that is below. So that you do it, and your horse just like, I mean, it's like it's so agile and it gets up there so quickly. It's almost like it teleports. And the Skinners that are left below, and the lawmen, they're just sort of like, whoa, and like they can't even think to try to get a shot off on you. So they're briefly dazed by that, but we still have Ranch. You're outside. No, you're inside.
I'm in the bar. In the saloon.
So everyone but Cleveland is now in the saloon. So just to get a scope of the lay of the land, like I said earlier, there's a set of steps like in the middle. You don't see that there's like a back door that goes outside from the saloon. However, the steps, they do go up and loop around. So there's sort of like a balcony that rings the interior of the saloon. And there is like a set of doors that walk out onto the balcony outside from the second floor. So you guys can now see Reb through the window on horseback on the balcony. What do you guys do from here?
Is there an obvious way to the back of the saloon? Like, is there a back door?
There's no back door out of the saloon, but you've seen that there is second floor access to that window outside of the balcony. So there might be some other options of where you can go once you get up to the balcony.
All right. In that case, I turn to the crowd and say, taking one of the sacks of money that's tied to my horse now, and I'm just like, "Sack of money to the man who kills Jack Skinner," and I try to get my horse up the stairs.
Okay. Meanwhile, Jack Skinner is still lassoed behind Ruby. And Ruby, are you trying to go up the stairs too?
Ruby's actually going to get off her horse.
Okay.
And go up to the lassoed Jack Skinner and plant a big kiss right on his lips.
Okay.
And yell, All right, now y'all can kill him.
Okay. So I'm not gonna make you roll to kiss a guy because, I mean, he's lassoed. You just do it. You kiss him.
Also, Ruby's good at it.
Okay. So one of the guys.
She really should ask for consent, however.
Not in the old West.
Fair.
You take
No, always.
So
I want a man and paying to kill a man. Totally fine.
All right. So the singer, Beulah Morgenstern is her name, and she hears this. Well, I'll take a shot. She pulls out her gun because she actually has it like in her garter, so she sort of rolls up her skirt, pulls out a tiny little pistol, shoots Jack dead, and she's like,
Derringer or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, mister, I'll take that bag of money now.
I give her the smallest sack of money on my horse.
Well, geez, thanks for nothing, mister. That's really kind of you. But
it's still stuffed full of probably 20s and 50s.
All right, well, I'll take it anyway. This will get me back to New York City, where they make the salsa.
New York City?
Ruby goes up and sticks a 50 in the garter and says, "Thank you kindly."
Nice. All right, so now, Ranch, refresh my memory. Were you on horseback when we busted into the saloon or
No,
not?
I was on foot.
Okay.
Are there any other Skinner boys in the bar at this point?
The other two Skinner boys that did not chase after Cleveland, they are still gaping with their jaws like dropped to the ground at the parkour horse that just jumped up to the balcony. So they are outside. You can see them through. The horses, when they busted in, knocked down the swinging doors, so you don't even see through the door. You can just see where the door used to be. You can see the Skinner boys like that out front.
Well, I'm going to reach into my pockets, pull out one of the gold bars that I stuck in my pocket before, and throw it at the nearest Skinner boy's head.
All right.
A bullet would be cheaper.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But, you know. All right, so you attempt. So do you say anything as you throw it to them?
Hey, Skinner boys, eat gold.
You're always pretty clever like that. All right, so give me an ass-kicking roll.
Well, that was a 3.
Okay. So you failed. They hear you and they look out, but one of the Skinner boys catches the bar of gold and says, "Thanks for giving it back." He puts it in his pack and says, "Hey, that's one of them fellers that took our gold." So now the two of them run.
Then I shoot at him.
Okay. So give me an ass kicking roll. Are you shooting at both of them?
I mean, I shoot at the one who took the gold first. I don't know how much time I have.
Okay. Give me an ass kicking roll.
That's a 7.
All right, so
which is, I think, also a miss. Yeah.
That is also a miss. Yeah, you wanted to roll greater. So now you have two Skinner boys charging you with with one of the bricks of gold that you guys stole. What do you guys do? Do you guys do anything to try to help your compatriot Ranch, or do you guys just try to get up to the balcony?
I assume my horse is like already on its way up, but like, yeah, I'm shooting at any Skinners I see.
Okay, give me an ass kicking roll.
That is a 6.
That is a 6. Okay, so that is also a fail. So you shot at this Skinner who did not have the stick of gold. So now he's like, "Hey, that's them more of them fellers took our gold." So now he's gonna start trying to shoot at the ceiling as well. So I'm gonna since we're sort of entering into like sort of like a one-on-one combat, I'm gonna sort of have you do sort of similar to what I did with Brown a few minutes ago. If you can beat my 5, then I'll say that you take a Skinner boy out.
Sure. I roll a 4.
A 4, okay. So he gains on you, and what he does is he jumps onto a table, leaps from there towards the stairs, and now he's on top of your horse with you and sort of fighting you atop the horse. Ruby, how do you, or Reb, you've been, oh, you're still out on the balcony. You can go in through the double door that's above the front door on the balcony there. Do you bust in now and try to help your friends in this situation?
Yes. So basically, what I'm gonna do is try to cause a little bit more commotion. So I'll go into those double doors, and then on my horse, from atop my horse, since I am a ballistics expert, I will just start tossing the dynamite down to the bottom floor of the saloon.
Okay. Now I'm gonna have you do an ass kicking roll on that. But first, Ranch, you see your friend bust in, and you know that he's a bit of a hothead and he's good with explosives. Do you instantly try to take cover, or what do you try to do?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to say...
That sounds like a good idea.
I'm going to say that you know what's coming because you know Reb's deal. I'm going to say you dive behind the bar. And you actually, because you're... in your heart, you're not an evil person. You take the saloon keeper down with you as well because you know this is going to be bad and he's going to... you're trying to save a life here. Do you say anything to the saloon keeper as you take him down with you?
I say, I don't want to die a virgin.
The barkeeper's like, well, I mean, neither do I, but it seems like it's the end for both of us, so ain't much done to be done by talking about it. So you guys are cowering under the bar. Reb, you drop your sticks of dynamite. And again, I'm going to give you an advantage on this one because it's a small bar and it's dynamite. So give me your ass-kicking roll.
7.
That's a success.
Yes, right.
So I'm just going to do it. So you drop your dynamite down. Do you say anything as you do it?
Say, have one on me.
Okay. So you have... you drop the dynamite down, it explodes, and it blows those Skinner boys, like, clear to hell. The rest of the people in the bar, they had sort of cowered in the corner because once people on horses start busting in, they realize they want to try to get away, so they're sort of cowering in the corner. So luckily, you didn't do any collateral damage to any bartenders. The bar is completely screwed up, but that's the least of your concerns right now. However, since you've blown the front of the bar clear off, now the lawmen see you, and there's still the 3 lawmen out there, the sheriff and his 2 deputies, so they run into the bar. Now, Ranch, you're hidden behind the bar right now. What do you do after the explosion?
Oh, I'm Ranch.
You are Ranch, yeah.
I forgot for a second there. I squeezed the bartender a little tighter. Give him a gentle peck on the cheek, and then I say, "I'll be seeing you later." And I stand up, guns blazing, and start shooting at everyone who's not in our party here.
Okay. Indiscriminately, like the people cowering in the corner by where the piano used to be, you're firing at them, or you're just firing at the lawmen?
Okay, fine. Just the lawmen.
Okay. Give me an ass-kicking roll.
All right. That is a 2.
All right, so that is not a
Good.
success. So I'm going to say that you fire a shot off. You fire a couple shots off at the lawman. However, your aim is so far off and you're so keyed up that what you actually do is one of your shots actually ricochets. Like there's a metal sign hanging above where the front door used to be that says horseshoeing for cash only. One of the bullets ricochets off of that, ricochets off from there off of a metal tankard, which is sort of hanging behind the bar, and then goes back and actually hits the piano player square in the head. So you've managed to indirectly kill the piano player.
He wasn't too good there anyway.
Plus, it was a player piano, so he wasn't really playing anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
I have something.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah. Ruby sees the lawmen come in and quickly realizes, there's, like 3 or 4 of them. She can't get them all quick enough. So, but they're sort of wading into the center of the bar looking for all of us. So she waits until they're in just the right spot and then aims her gun. This is the trick shot that she's usually pretty good at.
Mhm.
Aims her gun at the rope, holding up the giant wooden chandelier
Okay.
hanging from the ceiling,
Mhm.
hoping to shoot the rope, drop the chandelier over the lawman.
Love it. Okay. Give me an ass kicking roll.
All right. 8.
8. All right. So you shoot the rope out, and the chandelier comes falling down. Do you say anything to these lawmen who are standing underneath it right as it starts to fall?
Yeah. Lights out, gentlemen.
All right.
Was there only the one chandelier?
Well, actually, funny you should ask. There were three, I want to say 3 or 4 different lawmen lined up, and because Ruby, is a expert trick shot, she fired the bullet, and it went zip, 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 and hit all 4 ropes, dropped 4 individual chandeliers on the lawman.
I'll
right.
allow it. Okay.
That's so cool an idea that I'm okay with the fact that it's totally ruined what I wanted to do next with the chandelier.
All right.
Except for the last chandelier, because the bullet.
You
Okay,
got
all
rid
the
of all.
chandeliers.
Got 'em.
Well, the bottom
Okay.
name is the chandelier. They have just nothing but chandeliers all
18
over the place.
chandeliers inside.
Okay. So so you take out the lawmen. There was actually 3 lawmen, so they're gone. However, once this happens, the mayor of the town, Mayor Yancey, busts into the front door. And he's like, "What is going on in my town? I will not have this sort of shenanigans going on in my jurisdiction." And then he proceeds to pull out a couple of guns. So you have another hostile
Assailant?
who you're not planned on. And if Phineas had something planned, he might still be able to pull it off, because now you have another assailant. And I'm deeply curious as to what it was, so I completely teleported the mayor from where he was supposed to be.
Well, didn't I have a guy on the back of my horse still?
Oh, I forgot about him, yeah.
Because my plan had been to jump off my horse onto a chandelier and swing back, and kick the guy off my own horse. But that can't happen now. So instead,
However, if you choose to, Ruby is such a good shot that she shot the chandelier out like right where the rope connected. So there's still a pretty good length of rope dangling there if you want to try to jump and swing from it.
no, I think I'll try something different instead.
Okay.
I've been trying to do a lot of ass kicking. Let me try to do a not ass kicking. I just turned to the Skinner boy that's on the back of my horse, and I just, as I'm trying to get my horse to slowly go up the stairs, I'm just like, we'll cut you in. Since we've taken care of the rest of your family, you got no home no more. You want to join us, boy?
All right. Yeah, so give me a roll on that. Let's see.
All right. That is a 10.
All right, so
Fails and I
that
lose
is
a stick.
Yeah, you lose a stick for that. Correct. So the Skinner boy in the back, I'm going to say that he is Lemoyne Skinner.
In that case, I wouldn't have said boy. I would have said Lemoyne, because we know them.
Exactly. He says, "Well, I'm right flattered, but I'll have you know that the Skinner gang is that's for life. It's like when you're a jet all the way style." So he declines your offer, and he then did you say you jumped off the horse or no? You're still on the horse. Okay. So he is instead again trying to grapple you on top of the horse.
So I just do a straight back head bop, then try to just clock him with the back of my skull.
All right, give me an ass kicking roll.
A 9.
All right, so that is a success. So you headbutt him. His nose just breaks instantly, and he does like a Jan Brady or a Marsha Brady. Oh, my nose! And then he sort of cartwheels backwards off the horse.
As soon as he's off my horse, I just want to kick it into high gear and try to just dart towards the back of the building and try to make my horse just break through a window, jumping out to the back.
All right, so are you trying to jump out the back of the building, or are you trying to jump out onto the balcony outside?
Not looking. I'm the first window I see to the back of the building, whatever it happens to be.
Okay. Give me another roll.
An 8.
An 8. Okay. So that is a hold on. That is a failure.
All right.
So you I'm going to say that you go through the window. However, the problem is the balcony does not wrap around to the back of the building.
All right.
So you and your horse just plummet down about 10 feet to the ground. And you're a little, it sort of knocks the wind out of you for a minute or two. So let's go back to Reb. You are on the balcony out in the front of the bar. Now there's no hostiles in the bar, but you can still see on the far side of town there is a cloud because there is a bunch of guys on horseback riding from the other direction. So Cleveland went to the east. These guys are sort of coming from the west. What do you do?
Okay, so since I'm go back at the balcony with my horse. I'll take my horse and I'll try to jump up onto the roof of the next building and just kind of take the roof across to where those marauders are coming from.
Okay. Well, you don't know that they're marauders. You just know from here that they're guys on horseback.
Yeah, whatever.
Are you trying to, if you're able to do that, are you going to try to engage them, or are you just trying to scope out what they are?
I'm going to try to engage them. I'm going to try to shoot at their feet to try to maybe stop them from...
Okay.
Coming forward.
All right. So first, I'm going to try to do this with a couple rolls. First, I'm going to have you give you a non-ass kicking roll to see if you're able to make that jump to the roof of the next building. I will say the roof next door, the saloon is a 2-story building. The building next door is a 1-story, so it's like an even level from where you're at. So it's not. In fact, I'll say you have an advantage on that roll because it's not particularly a hard jump if you're any kind of a horseman.
5.
Okay. So you have crossed over to the roof of the next building, and you can get a closer look, and you see that this is not just any group. These aren't more bandits or more skinners or more rival gangs. This is actually the army has been called in now. It's a platoon. It's not a huge platoon. It's about maybe 10 or 15 guys. But you see that they are, there's about 10 of them on horseback, and there's like
Union or Confederate.
This is post-war. This is all. Yeah, this is after Johnny Reb has been put down.
Yeah.
There's like 10 on horseback, and there's like 5 of them riding on this giant wagon, kind of like a Conestoga wagon. It's covered, and you can't quite. It seems like they've got something inside that wagon. So you wanted to try to. What do you want to try to do? Fire
at. I'm not going to fire at them. I'm going to fire towards their feet or try to stop them from coming towards the town.
All right. So I'm not going to count that as an ass kicking roll. If you're just trying to stop them in their tracks, just give me a roll and see what we do.
Whoop! I just dropped it. Oh no! I dropped it.
No.
It landed on 6.
When you have 6, equal. Okay, so that succeeds. So you fire off a couple shots right at the feet of the commanding officer who's riding at the front. He's a colonel. Let's see, his name is Colonel Beach. Do you yell anything to him or the army men as you shoot at him after you shoot at him, or do you just try to let your shooting do the talking?
I guess I can just say tell me what you got in that there covered wagon you got there.
I don't negotiate with terrorists.
Do you negotiate with pistols? Just fire.
All right.
Not still missing them.
Okay.
Still fire.
I'm going to count that as your original roll, so I'm not going to make you re-roll for it. So you guys now, so let's see. So Ranch, Ruby, you guys are still in the bar. You hear now shooting coming from outside the roof next door. I'm going to circle back now to Cleveland. You've made enough of you've covered enough distance now that you're sort of about to loop back around to the eastern entrance to the town. And as you do that, you can see the army, the army platoon. You see Reb on the roof firing at them. You see Phineas just fall out the back window from the top floor of the saloon on his horse, and that's just the craziest thing you've ever seen. You can't see Ruby and Ranch, but you can assume based on where the rest of the stuff, where everything is popping up, you can assume that they are inside that saloon.
Okay, this is a weird thing, and I know All Outta Bubblegum is just a simple thing. Could I possibly now? I'll tell you what I want to do, I guess.
Okay.
I'll say that if you let me do this, it would kind of almost be like a you can keep with everybody, and I would pop in later to the story. If I sacrifice 2 sticks of bubblegum, you allow me to have the time to get back to our hideout and load up a casket full of every weird and crazy Wild West weapon we possibly have and bring it back to the town with me to help my friends.
I love it. I will allow you, if you're willing to sacrifice 2 sticks of gum for that.
I mean, I would assume this is like a flashback to a thing he did in planning for the bank heist.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it's already...
It's at the edge of town, and he's going to go dig it up.
Yeah, if it's something... I'm not going to make you go all the way back to the hideout for it. I'm going to assume that maybe you guys had stashed it somewhere, like maybe just slightly outside of town, in case stuff really popped off, that way you'd have some sort of ace in the hole.
Okay. I don't know if we wanted to now explain. I was going to think that I'm stuffing this full of Gatling guns to copy off of John Wayne's The Alamo, maybe some Gatling shotguns, and sticks of dynamite and just insanity. It's filled to the brim with firearms and explosives.
Okay, that's a very good idea, because as you...
so I'll take those sticks away, and I'll come back in a few minutes. Yeah.
Ranch, you have something you wanted to contribute?
As I hear shots going off and everything, I'm going to pull the barkeep back down to the floor and brace him a deep bear hug.
Okay. All right.
Stay down.
I'm gonna. Now he's flattered, but he's getting tired of this continual tackling. So I'm actually gonna make you roll for that.
Okay.
Not ass kicking, but it's
That is a 4.
All right, and that is okay. So that actually succeeds. So he says, "Well, I mean, I'm it's awful flattering of you, but I'd like to get to know you before anything else. And is there anything else you want to try to do from here, or is he just trying to continue to woo this bartender? What are you doing?"
Gently stroke his hair and say, "My name is Ranch."
Okay. Well,
Jim has put Mick in the uncomfortable position of having to role play out a romantic scenario with his brother.
You know what?
Here's some gold.
All right. So here's the deal. All right. Because this is getting really icky now. So the bartender is like, he's like, you know what? I'm flattered and all, but this has been way too intense, and this is happening way too fast for me, and I just can't handle this. So he jumps over the bar, runs out the front where the front of the bar used to be, and then one of the army the people on that wagon are startled by seeing someone running out of the bar that they were not expecting to see. They pop the top off of their wagon and reveal that they, in fact, have a giant Gatling gun. They turn it, and they just completely obliterate this bartender.
What was the bartender's name?
The bartender's name was... Give me 1 second. I'll get that back for you. Harvey Kent.
I pull out my 6-shooter.
May
And start
be
shooting at the dudes on the wagon there.
Okay, so you now have run outside, and now you have a.
I guess I should be a 4 at this point.
Yeah, you rolled? Yeah. If you're gonna shoot
I
at them,
failed that last one. Yeah.
Okay, so you have now got the full attention of the guys with the Gatling gun. So they have turned their fire on the bar, and this is just like it's a simple wooden building. It's not going to give you a lot of cover. This is going to rapidly tear this bar apart. So you had better, for the sake of your own health, start de-assing the area, as I'd have to say. Ruby, you had something you wanted to try.
Yeah, Ruby hears the voice of the captain of this army platoon call out, and it's a familiar voice.
It's her other ex-fiance.
Oh, hold on. She runs out, says, "Well, oh my goodness, my stars and garters. Do you remember when I performed for you all as a child? When I traveled as Ruby Red, the Trixie Pixie who did trick shots? Well, Can you please stop these men? They're trying to steal my gold, and I have cash for you if you rescue it for me.
So are you trying to now sell out your compatriots for the sake of...
Well, yes, I
Okay,
am.
all right. I'm going to make you roll for it then. Let's see if you convince them.
5.
All right, equal or less, that is a success. So they're like, all right, let's let this little lady pass. She's clearly had a rough day, and we'll get your gold back for you, ma'am. Don't you worry. No siree, Bob. We'll get it back for you right quick.
Thank you kindly.
All right, so now you have Ruby has now defected. Now, let's see. I think the only person who so Ranch, you see this because you have gone outside, and Reb, you see it because you're still on the rooftop. Phineas, you are slightly winded because you just fell off a second-story window on a horse. But you can hear there's gunfire.
What shape's my horse in?
The horse is not doing so well. Like
all legs broken.
I want to try to tend to my horse then.
Okay, so I'm going to
it's a medicine check, I think.
Yeah, so I'm gonna so give me a roll on that and see what you do.
All right, a 10.
A 10.
Which is gonna fail.
All right, so you
Kill your
attempt.
horse in the process.
you go into your saddlebag and you pull out a syringe, which is full of horse stimulant. And
I accidentally pull out horse morphine.
No, you've stimulated a few horses in your day, so you know how far
Boy, howdy.
Horselandium.
Yeah,
Oh.
you know how far to push the plunger into his neck to get him revived. However, you are just a little out of sorts because you just fall out of a second-story window on a horse, and you push the plunger down too far, and he turns to you and looks you dead in the eye, and even though it's a horse, he has an expression on his face that just seems to say, "How could you?" And then he falls over dead. So now you are horseless. You are now horseless behind the building. Who else has anything now that they want to try?
Oh, sorry. Wait. All right, you go first. You go first. You go first.
All right. So since I can see all of this commotion, I can see this big Gatling gun on the back of the wagon. I'm gonna take the gun that I have, which I'm just gonna. I mean, it's not. It's got to be a 6-shooter, or just like a pistol or something like that, because it's one-handed. And I'm gonna try to shoot the wheel of the wagon to try to at least throw the Gatling gun off balance.
Okay. I will say that sounds like an ass-kicking check to me. So give me a roll.
It is a 9.
That is a success. So what you do is you shoot the wheel off of the cart, and the guy on the back of the cart, he's on the gun, but he sort of starts spinning around wildly, shooting the gun. Doing this, he takes out, there's 4 other guys on the cart with him. He takes out 3 of them and, let's say, 8 of the cavalry who's on the ground. So where there had been 15 army officers bearing down on you, now there's just like 4 on a ragged, rickety cart with a Gatling gun, which is sort of firing out of control. So you actually did quite a good job of minimizing the threat from these fellas. But they still have a Gatling gun, and there's enough there that they could still potentially try to do a lot of damage to you guys. Now, Ruby, you are actually behind enemy lines with them. How do you react to this? Do you try to help out your new compatriots, or do you just try to fall back and go to the rest of the gang?
Ruby walks up to the one remaining guy by the gun and say, "Oh, well, could you show pretty old me how this gun works?" And
he's a sophisticated piece of machinery, ma'am, and it's not in the best of working conditions right now. We should probably get it repaired before we try to get another shot off. But he's
like, well, let me try.
Okay, give me a roll.
I'm pretty good at this. And she's actually going to aim it at the remaining, not her compatriots, but the remaining soldiers.
Okay, give me a... All right, I'm going to actually make you do 2 rolls on that. I'm going to try to do a non-ass-kicking roll to see if you can get control of the gun, and then an ass-kicking roll to see if you can take these guys out.
Okay. The non-ass-kicking roll... I'm actually going to sacrifice a stick to make the non-ass-kicking roll.
Okay. So you now have control of the Gatling gun.
Oh, I should have sacrificed a stick to save my horse. God damn it.
Sorry. And the ass-kicking roll... So it's like above a 4. I haven't changed my name yet. 7.
Okay. So you proceed to take out the rest of these soldiers. So now, from what you guys can see, all of the imminent threats in town have been taken out. Now, Cleveland, I'm going to say by this point you have made it back into town. Now, this casket laden with explosives, or whatever it is. I'm gonna assume that you had
it's like an armory of just crazy weapons and dynamite. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to assume that at this point you have this sort of loaded on some sort of like a wagon too, so that way it's not just you lugging this thing from camp.
I mean, I'm like, a huge hulky guy. I was gonna say I was dragging it behind me, but whatever. We want
all
to
right. So you're dragging this thing behind you. From where camp is, the first person you come across is Phineas, who's on his hands and knees mourning his dearly departed horse. What do you guys say when you see each other?
I say, as a fine horse, Phineas. Let's get some revenge for that motherfucker.
And I see the casket, which I assume you have thrown open, just like the weapons are clearly visible.
Mm-hmm. When I say that, I kick it, and it flies, and you just see like it's filled to the brim with all sorts of deadly implements. Yeah.
Great. I want to take.
I go just like Duck Sauce City all over again.
I grab the largest, because I would assume I've probably expended some ammo having shot up a bunch of stuff so far. Mm-hmm. So I grab the largest 6-shooter that's there that's probably preloaded, and I also grab a cavalry saber in the other hand.
Mm-hmm. I go, you can grab 2 revolvers. There's more than enough for all of us.
Just then you guys hear Ruby yell, "What's that in the sky? Is that a dirigible?"
So okay, let's go with it. So you guys see a dirigible, and you guys are Ruby's heard of it because she's had some boyfriends who were in the service, but a dirigible is like a top secret military weapon at this point, so none of you guys have ever heard of it. So this dirigible comes in going at a speed faster than any vehicle you guys have ever seen before. And what it does is under the dirigible is a large, where the basket where the crew of it would sit. What happens is this basket, which is it looks like a giant crate. It lands sort of in the middle of town. The balloon detaches and flies away, and then this. Here, all right, let's see how I'm going to describe this.
This is like a Jim West situation.
This crate opens up and unfolds itself into a 60-foot tall steam-powered mech. It's got.
Is it a giant spider, Mick?
It is not a spider. It is humanoid in nature. It has
crab.
So it's like a Wild West Gundam. Basically.
It is. It is. It has Gatling guns where the nipples should be. There are guys on the shoulders who are firing off cannon. It is shooting out steams of jets of steam. So if you get too close to it, the steam can just incinerate you. So how do you guys handle this? Now, just to recap, Reb is on the roof. The closest person to it is Ruby, because she was out closer to where the army soldiers were. Ranch is out in front of the pub, or the saloon. And Phineas and Cleveland, guys were still in the back. Have you made your way towards the front of the saloon yet, or no?
I don't know how much Phineas knows. I mean, in a game like this, I don't think we have to be like, do you tell me information? I'm going to assume that I found out from him that Reb's on the roof. And I'm like, well, we better get up onto another roof then.
Yeah, you
need to drive the Ava, Shinji.
Yeah. Get in the robot, Phineas. But,
okay.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say what Phineas wants to do, but Cleveland's going to try to get up onto the roof where Reb is. Okay. I'm going to say that I have enough strength to just haul the casket on my back.
Okay.
I think
To make
before-
another anime reference, this is like the guy with the cross from Trigun right now. You know.
I think before you take the casket up, though, I'm just like, I'll meet you up there. And instead, I drop the saber and now pick up a small pony keg of gunpowder that is probably also in this casket, and I start making for the mech.
Okay. So, all right. So you are.
Oh, as you leave, I go, "Live long and prosper, Phineas Poteet."
I have been and always will be your friend. All right, so you're hauling ass towards the mech with the keg full of gunpowder. Cleveland, you are. Phineas, quickly, is this like a kamikaze mission that you're going on, or?
I mean, Phineas plans to live, but right now he's enraged by the loss of his now dead horse.
You do have Cleveland's horse if you'd like to use that horse too.
True. So if you
But
want
that
to,
changes anything.
if you want to get on the horse, or if you maybe want to load the keg onto the horse and send that towards the mech, you've got a couple.
I don't want to
options.
kill any more horses.
Okay. All right. So are you gonna?
There's been enough dead horses today.
Okay. So you're gonna get on the horse and ride towards the.
No, I'm just running with the keg.
Oh, you're running with the keg towards the mech. Okay. All right.
And-
I'm not gonna
and
make
the
you do any.
saber?
No, I dropped the saber so I could pick up the keg.
All right. I'm not gonna make you do any checks just yet because I think you're capable of picking up a pony keg full of gunpowder and running with it. But Cleveland, to try to climb from where you are to the roof, I am going to make you do a roll for that because there's no.
I'll burn a stick. I'll burn a stick to climb.
All right, so get your rear end up there. So now you have reunited. You're on this rooftop with Reb. So you see the mech. You see Ruby. Where were you when we left off? I'm sorry.
I was in the wagon with the
You're
Gatling
still in the
gun.
wagon with the Gatling gun. Okay.
Taking out everybody except the guy who showed me the gun.
So Ranch, what do you do now? Because you're still in front of the bar, so you see this all going on right in front of you.
I give the corpse of the bartender one last gentle peck on the forehead,
Oh my God.
and then I pull out my 2 6-shooters and I go running, guns blazing towards that mech, and I start firing off shots at it.
Okay.
My 6-shooters.
All right, so you're not necessarily going to be able to do any damage to the mech itself with just a couple of 6-shooters. However, there are, when I said that there were cannon on the shoulder, those cannon are operated by some guys in these black uniforms. And you see that they're wearing these headbands with an embossed S on it, which he recognizes the seal of the Skinner Gang. This is their ultimate plan all along for world domination. But they're standing atop the shoulders of this contraption, firing cannon off at you. So you can, if you do an ass-kicking roll and you succeed, you can conceivably try to take these guys out.
Well, I'm going to try to do that.
All right. So give me an ass-kicking roll.
That's a 10.
All right, so that is
It's a success, I think.
That is a success, yes. So you, because you've got 2 guns and there's 2 shoulders, you take out both guys with the cannons. So it still has the Gatling gun nipples firing off at you. However, the cannon, at the very least, have been taken out. Reb, what are you going to try to do up on the roof where you are?
All right. So I'm guessing since Cleveland's up by me, he also has the big casket full of.
Yeah, I brought that up.
armor.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna rifle through this casket of untold treasures of ammunition, and I'm gonna grab a big old a stack of timed dynamite. So it's got it's got just a wristwatch that I'm going to fasten to have a timed dynamite.
Okay.
Big stack, and I'm going to take my horse and ride rooftop to rooftop towards the big mech.
Okay. All right. So
The timer on a stick of dynamite is usually just called
just the fuse.
Fuse.
Or if he's looking at one of those
I don't know.
cartoon style bombs,
Yeah,
like an
yeah.
alarm clock attached to it. All right. So I am going to. All right. So here's what I'll do. You still have 6 sticks, so you're in good shape. If you want to try to sacrifice any and all those sticks to try to succeed in what you're trying to do, it might be a good time to try to do it.
Yes, exactly. So I was going to sacrifice. Yeah, I'll sacrifice the 1 stick. Well, I mean, I guess no, 2 sticks. I guess 1 would be for running across the roofs, and then 1 would be
One, yes, correct.
and then 1 throwing the big stick, the big thing at the mech thing.
Correct. Okay.
I think I see Reb setting up to do that. Like he's running on the balcony, I'm running on the street, and I'm just like, Reb, remember Kansas City? I go and I see him going to throw the dynamite. I go to throw the pony keg.
Okay. All right, and now
I think Ruby wants to add to that.
okay,
Yeah.
Ruby, you.
Ruby remembers a conversation she had with one of those soldiers she dated, trying to explain a dirigible to her, and so she knows that that part that's floating away is filled with explosive and dangerous gas. So she's going to take the Gatling gun
Okay.
and aim at the bubble, the dirigible balloon part.
All right. Okay. So yeah, it hasn't floated too far away yet. So it's still, if you manage to hit it, it's still within range that you can, hit it. All right.
By the way, I am sacrificing a stick in order to lob my pony keg to
Okay.
the exact spot it needs to go.
Okay. So you are sacrificing a stick. Is anyone else just going to, and Reb is sacrificing his stick.
Yeah, I did too. I took
Ruby, what about you? Are
Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice actually 2 sticks, 1 to hit it and 2 to hit it in the precise spot where it will send the most gas.
Okay.
Explosive gas towards me.
And Cleveland, what are you doing with this?
I'll sacrifice 2 sticks. 1 to shout down to my horse to grab that saber in his mouth, just in case shit really gets wonky and he has to get into the battle.
Okay.
And then I also I can sort of see what's going on with Reb and Phineas. I'm going to take out a Gatling gun shotgun, loaded with like weird grape. I guess shotguns are already grape shot, but it also has weird stuff. And I'm going to shoot it right also where it needs to go at the time to try to ignite this. If that's how dynamite works, hopefully it's how dynamite works.
So basically, no one's rolling anything here. You're all just sacrificing sticks to do this. Branch, do you have anything that you want to try to contribute as well, or are you content with just the fact you took out the guys with the shoulder cannons?
Hey, I'm gonna just could be firing wildly at them.
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out. Do you want to sacrifice a stick to try to see if you actually do?
No, everyone else is. I'm just going to keep firing at them.
Okay.
You tell me if I need to roll or not.
All right. So the first thing that gets off is I'm going to say the first thing that gets off is Ruby with the Gatling gun. Ruby punctures the balloon of the dirigible with the Gatling gun, and there is, of course, a massive explosion. This actually removes the outer layer of it, so now you can see more of the steam, and more of the gears and whatnot that are, powering this thing.
Yep.
Yes. Reb, your timed dynamite, it lands and it explodes, and you just see more gears and cogs blowing off everywhere. Who else is left? Cleveland. No, actually Phineas. You hurl the pony keg and it explodes again, and you see more machinery, you see steam shooting off everywhere. There's cogs and gears, and now what you can see is now exposed on this giant mech is it now all of a sudden out of nowhere has a glowing red eye, which you can only assume is its weak point. And the weird thing is, even though this whole thing is steampunk, this red eye seems organic, which is really kind of messing with your brains. But so the Skinners are into some technology that are well beyond anything that the you old Westerners have ever seen. But Cleveland, you take a shot up with your Gatling gun, shotgun. Is that what you're saying you have?
I have a Gatling. I'll just say I have a Gatling shotgun. I guess Yeah, we'll take the grape shot part. This is too insane already.
Okay, so you hit the red glowing organic eye on this thing, and the whole thing, it sort of stumbles backwards, and then it just starts flailing about wildly. Like it's going down, but it's like legit. It is like chopping the buildings down with it as it goes. So you guys have clearly defeated the final boss here. But now the town.
Say that I say this one's for Mitch as I fire. Won't even say what that means, but we have history with the Skinners, and so I do that as I hit the eyeball.
All right, so now it hits the eyeball one last time, and it just goes down it just goes flat as a pancake down. It takes out half the town with it, like the half the town that wasn't severely damaged when the hydrogen balloon exploded has now been devastated by this giant mech, which has now fallen on top of it. So you guys have now defeated. You've utterly defeated the Skinner gang. You have taken out the law in this town. You have taken out an entire army platoon that was sent to try to investigate this disturbance. What do you do now? Do you all just meet in the center?
Hey, you all still got your gold? I still got a couple bars here.
I got it all on my chest. I wore it like a bulletproof vest, so I'm good.
Sounds like a
I'm going to say that me and my horse with the knife in its mouth come out from the alleyway, and he has his sacks of gold still on him.
Mine's on my horse.
All right.
I still got a stick. I still got some sticks of gum here, so I want to reach back into a memory I have of a time we hung out with some shaman somewhere who taught me how to revive horses.
It's real Young Guns. Getting real Young Guns.
All right. So
and I basically like kneel down back by my horse and try to whisper whatever secret words, and maybe there's some plant nearby that I crush the leaves.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna sacrifice a stick of gum for this?
I'll actually roll, but why not?
All right,
yeah. A 3, and I have 3 sticks remaining, so equal to or
less
than
than. So
that.
you succeed. The horse revives itself, or you revive it, and it looks you in the eyes and says, "I knew you wouldn't let me down in the end." And you give your horse a hug, and the rest of your party walks up to you and sees this moment with you and the horse, and you all envelop each other in a group hug around the horse. And then the camera pans out, and we see the entire remnants of the town, and it pans out further, and we see the entire country, and it pans out further, we see the entire world, and we pan out even further, and we see a snow globe being shaken by a young boy, and the credits roll, and we've reached the end of our adventure.
Yeah,
I was going to make you guys try to get back out of town, but once you guys take out a giant mech with an organic red eye weak spot, I don't think there's anything that can top that. So thanks for anyone who's been watching this and checking us out tonight. Again, the game is called All Outta Bubblegum. We did take a few creative liberties with it, but I mean, what's the point of doing role-playing if you're not bending the rules a little bit?
I think the creators would be okay with us taking liberties.
I think so.
It's definitely a pretty
sure they
cool, like beer and pretzel RPG game. I think we're okay.
I'm pretty sure they are going to hate us.
Yeah. Well,
Copyright.
Well, anyway, the game, it's called All Outta Bubblegum. We'll have a link in the description of this video as to where you can download it if you'd like to try it yourself. It was created by Michael Epic Sullivan and Jeffrey Grant. So I don't know.
Epoch, but yeah.
Well, I think it's actually pronounced Epic because I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that's our game. Thank you to everyone for joining us tonight, and hopefully we'll see you again with one of these things soon. As all the cowboys would say, adios. Adios, buckaroo. That big.